All right, here we go. How is everyone doing? Welcome back to the second episode of the Love Forecast, a show that I wanted to create to talk about the divine masculine and the divine feminine and love forecast for each zodiac sign during the week. That will be incorporated with astrology, but also more so intuitive readings. So, first, we're going to start with some sage, get some of this energy out of here. There's been a lot of craziness this past week with all this energy in Aries, and it is literally like, wow. So it is time to start to take a breath and move forward because everything's starting to alleviate a little bit as we move through Taurus season. All right, so we got a little of the card sage, the crystal sage. We're all good to go. And so tonight's forecast for the love forecast is all about when to initiate and when to hold back. And the reason being is because right now we have Mars and Aries, which is Mars is the planet of war, the god of war, in its home sign in the domicile of Aries, where it's the most vibrant, like full throttle, let's go, let's get cracking, right? Then you have Venus, which is in Taurus, and she's at the 29th degree of Taurus, which each sign there's 29 degrees before it ingresses to the next sign. And so she's at the very last degree, sitting right next to Uranus. So there's a lot of uncertainty coming up and upheaval in relationships, solidifying relationships. Venus is the planet of, she's a goddess. She's all about passion and sex drive and luxury and just that really beautiful feminine energy. Literally, it's like we have Mars and Venus. What everyone says is the opposites, right? So this is all about taking the balance of the yin and the yang in this energy and moving it forward in our relationships this week. And as we go through this process, we will be able to identify what area that may pick up depending on your rising sign. Also ask you to listen to your sun sign and your moon sign to get a more collaborative reading for your big three. If you don't know your big three in your natal chart, you can go look it up free online. Cafe Astrology is really good. It's quick, it's easy. Otherwise, you probably already know it. There's a lot of free information out there to do that. But that's good to know when you want to start learning astrology and learning the energies as we go through. And more of the things I'll be doing on this channel. So welcome. If you are a subscriber already, thank you so much for your support. I have some OGs from when I started this channel back in 2016. And then when I started Spiritual Happy Hour, another live show I do on Thursdays that started in 2020 and is now back and revived and pumped up again. And plus the new subscribers that have just come along literally in the last month. So it's really been very exciting to have this channel bring people together in a wonderful community, because with everything that's going on in the world, we know that it's all about community as we go into the age of Aquarius. It's no longer me. It's how are we going to build these communities and depend on each other and grow with each other, right? So that being said, I do have a few announcements. With the live shows, this show, The Love Forecast, is every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And then I have Spiritual Happy Hour, which is a lot more astrology focused. And that is on Thursdays at 7:30 Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Then I am planning on launching some pop-up series for weekend tarot reading forecast for love, and also during the week for career tarot reading forecast. And those will be pop-ups. It'll be very quick, maybe 5, 10, 15-minute videos. So you can get the information, get in and get out. So you don't have to sit and watch a 2-hour video online for just some information. Listen, I'm an Aries. I deliver the information. My Mercury's in Aries. I have a stellium in Aries. So you're going to get it quick and with a flair, with a little bit of Leo rising in there, okay? Also, I do have personal readings available. I offer 1-hour sessions. I have a 3-hour session package available. And then I also have on Tuesdays, on Taco Tuesday, if you will, not so much tacos on this channel, but more like talking and co-creating with the universe. So taco, okay, you get it? And there will be mini readings available for 20 minutes. And so everyone has access to getting a personal reading. And then in addition, all of my lives, I'll be providing mini readings for $25 during the show only. And that link is in the chat, so you can go grab it while the show is live. All right, so how is everyone doing tonight? I'm drinking peppermint water. I still have my sage burning. I want to light a little bit more because it's clearing out some good stale energy that's in my place right now, and able to open up into the ethers with some really positive readings and information coming across. So as we talk more about the yin and yang dynamic, I'm sure you're all familiar with the divine masculine, the divine feminine. It's literally the yin and yang. And we have that within ourselves that we always need to work on balancing. And we also have it in our partnerships, right? Because we want to make sure that everything's balanced, you know. And the thing with Mars being full throttle and then Venus being in her, just on her throne, just with beauty, you have both ends together right now in the cosmos, in the sky right now. And it's really telling everybody we're having this drive to move things forward in that masculine energy, but then it's kind of like using emotional intelligence and coming back into that feminine energy, especially around communication, especially communication right now, since Mercury is in Aries. Communication is fast, it's moving, it's harsh, it's direct. And so it's taking in everything and doing like some soft edges. So it's how I view it is the divine feminine and the feminine energy and the yin and yang, or yin yang, however you would like to call it, is more of the on the receiving end, right? The receiver, and then the masculine is the provider. And so together they come together and create this beautiful, balanced relationship. And we can feel it within ourselves when we know that we are really kind of feeling agitated. We're like, oh, this is like that Mars energy, right? And so maybe taking some deep breaths, doing some box breathing, come back down into that, drop more into that feminine energy, and with Venus and self-care, right? It's really important for self-care. All right, so everything is all about balance. And I love that the sage is still going. It's great. And everything is about balance. And so if you're feeling out of balance, one thing you want to recognize is this past week for the year of 2026 was one of the toughest weeks we've ever had for this whole year. Not ever, but the toughest weeks we're going to have this year. And it was literally, we had 7 celestials in the sign of Aries, which was like the beginning of everything moving forward. And you're feeling that urgency. And if you aren't starting to feel it already, we're coming into Uranus going into Gemini for the next 7 years. It's leaving Taurus after the last 7 years. So think about where Taurus is in your chart and what was the upheaval. Uranus is literally like the roller coaster, you know, surprise, or, you know, the Tower card in the tarot. And so can be good and can be bad, right? So whatever it is, it feels, we have to know that that's where we're supposed to be in our divine timing. And so as it goes into Gemini, it's literally going to be full throttle ahead. Like it's an air sign and it's not messing around. And if you have been resting up until, you know, this month of like March and April, it's really good. Feeling kind of drained with all this Aries energy, it's getting ready to get faster. So make sure you're taking care of yourself with self-care and drinking plenty of water, you know, hydrate or die, right? I like to say that out in the heat. And just making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, because once we have our cup full, we can fill someone else's cup. So that being said, we will go ahead and move on to the readings for each sign. And I like to do it different every week. So it's going to be different how I do this. But I'm going to pull some cards for each sign, and I have my Freestyle Love Supreme cup with all of the zodiac signs in here. I mix it up because I like to keep it guessing. And so you can come back and watch this video during the week. And if I'll have the timestamps for each thing, but you will be able to go to the direct timestamp for your sign, specifically rising sign. Like I said, that's going to be the truest. But then you can just get a quick reading and a quick hit as you come through the week. So first we're going to start with Scorpios. Scorpio, sun, moon, rising, or Venus. What is going on, my Scorpios? All right, let's see. Let's see what is going on for Scorpios in love this week. Okay, wow. All right, I have the Wheel of Fortune. These cards are a little risque, so I can't really show them on YouTube. But the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor this week, which is good because that means that literally if you're on the wheel, on a Ferris wheel, you're going up and down. And this is all about things starting to smooth out and come back up into your favor. So especially since Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, a lot of Scorpios have probably been feeling a lot of intensity this past week, especially in their 6th house where Aries is, which is their everyday routine. It is all about, their structure, their schedules, and it could be pretty intense on where this is going for Scorpios. And so this is saying that the energy is going to turn in your favor and balance out a little bit. So this is where you're going to tune in a little bit more into that feminine energy. And yes, I have the 9 of Pentacles coming out for you, Scorpio. So this is literally one step of abundance next to the 10 of Pentacles, which is ultimate abundance in finances and family. Everything is going on. And this is literally the last step before that. But this is kind of like you have your act together. The Queen of Pentacles, she has her act together where she hides money under her mattress. You know what I'm saying? Like she has her finances in order. So this, I feel that in your relationship, that finances could have been straining something in your relationship, and that's going to start smoothing out with this energy. All right, let's see what else. Okay, we have autopilot. So it's time for you to go on autopilot. Set it, forget it, right? Put your intentions out there and literally just let God take the wheel, okay? Put your intentions out there to smooth things out, balance the energy. Like I said, do some box breathing. I think that'll be really beneficial to you. And then with a little island spice on it, I like to always slap the deck, We have fun, but use discernment. Okay, so this is interesting because on autopilot, you're supposed to have fun and set it, forget it. So this is also the yin and yang that we're getting, right? So you're going to want to balance these two out. You don't want to totally go on autopilot, but you also want to use discernment. So you're going to have to take that sweet spot with the Wheel of Fortune and find that middle ground this week to balance things out in your relationships. So I hope that helps, Scorpio. Comment below and let me know. All right, next we're going to move on with Aquarius. Who is Aquarius in the house? What is going on, Aquarius? All right, let's see. Aquarius, we have Aries in your 3rd house. So your communication style must be pretty intense this past week, but also in your house of home, that's where Taurus is, where Venus is. So you're going to be starting to see a little bit more balance of being more out in the community and around with neighbors, but back and pulling back into self-care and time at home with your friends and family. I do have the 8 of Wands. So this is telling me, I like this deck. It's the sexual tarot deck, but I can't use it here on YouTube. So the 8 of Wands is all about very fast moving energy. So I see that things are going to start balancing out. You're going to start taking that pivot from spending time in your community and spending time at home and really dialing in on that, on making your home your comfort zone again. And taking that fast moving Aries energy and just taking a pause and pulling back a little bit. Yes, I do see this moving forward very quickly with the Knight of Swords. This is literally, very fast moving energy. So what I'm hearing from Spirit is to dial back that masculine Aries energy this week and start to just soften the edges a little bit with that Venus. Go back into more of your home and your domicile and the creature comforts and things like that in your relationships, because it's going to, maybe the energy's been so intense you haven't spent any time with your friends and family. And now it's time for you to really focus in on your romantic relationship and harness that energy. Now, if you're single, that's telling me that you just need more self-care before you can move on to the next phase, okay? I also you have a lot of admirers. So this is a really great card. I'll do this side. This is a really great card. So having a lot of admirers. So this is saying for people that are single, Aquarius, you have been out in the community with that fiery Mars energy, but now you're being asked to go back in and dial things back a little bit so you can focus and balance that out, because you want to make sure you don't have too much of that masculine energy where you're not balancing out that in your relationship and having that home and that creation of comfort. So let me know in the comments. If you're just tuning in, make sure you say hello in the chat. Let me take a sip of peppermint water. Yum. Okay. So Aquarius, that was good. So now we're going to move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising. What is going on, Sagittarius? Wow, with this energy, Sagittarius, you have Aries in your 5th house of creativity, of romance and partnerships. And then you have Aries, in your 6th house of work. So, I'm sorry, Taurus in your 6th house of work. So balancing out that energy between home and career is really important with the yin and yang, and making sure that you are keeping that balance, because it's really easy to get caught up in the creativity and like playing, with children and kind of just being out there, where Sagittarius like to be like out there creating adventure, but then coming back home into a more grounded space in the everyday routines. Okay. And that includes working out, and that includes, making sure you're taking care of yourself and you're taking care of your relationship and your family around you. I do see that you have the 10 of Swords. So something could have really been at, like, with Venus in Taurus on the 29th degree, it's getting ready to go into Gemini, which is an air sign. The 10 of Swords is indicating an end of something, but also a beginning, right? So what are the things that you need to release in order to open up this whole new avenue with more of this Venus energy, and taking away from that, like that sharpness of communication and softening the edges with that? Because let's see, with the Beach Balance Life OG deck, we have, yes, Sun-Kissed. So you're being asked to step into more of a carefree. I feel like with Aries in the 5th house of creativity and fun and not travel, but adventure per se, that you're being asked to let your hair down and have some fun. I feel like you've been really uptight, especially with the 10 of Swords, is saying that everything's been like very intense. You need to let your hair down and have some fun, because it's going to benefit you. And the easier you are on yourself and balancing out that yin and yang energy, you're going to be able to move forward as a whole person, and then you'll be whole with your partner, right? Mystical Musings. Love you, sis. I miss you. I gave you a shout out on Spiritual Happy Hour on Thursday. You should go check it out for Cancers. I miss you. I'll have a great show. I'm sure you're probably headed out, but I really am happy you stopped by. One of my very good friends that I've had since 2016. Very cool. So anyway, back to Sagittarius. So okay, this is one of my favorite cards. Use SPF for your vibes. So what I'm getting is making sure that you're protecting your energy in your everyday realm, and softening the edges of your communication, and basically using emotional intelligence when you speak, and also making sure that you're not letting people attach onto your energy, because you could be around a lot of people in your everyday routine. And so this is saying, literally, be careful on who you give your energy to. So use a little bit of discernment, and guard your space, and and really protect your close relationships, because people are always going to want to poke holes, especially with this 10 of Swords, getting in that, beating the dead horse, or like in the tarot, the guy's laying there with like 10 swords in his back. So it's kind of like being backstabbed. So be careful on who you're giving your information to. So don't let Aries take over that masculine fire energy to get things out. Make sure you're using discernment and using more of that receiving mode of the Venus and that beauty, and just like feeling the balance and letting things just kind of play out in your communication styles this week. So hopefully it helps for you, Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising. Make sure you go back and check your rising sign and your moon sign. I know most people come in and look at their sun signs, but you have every zodiac sign in your natal chart in the houses, and we'll go into that. All right, so moving on. Who is next? Love you, sis. All right, Cancers. Oh, hopefully you're still on, Celeste. All right, Cancer, sun, moon, rising, or Venus. What is going on? Oh, okay. My little crabbies. Listen, I want to say, a lot of people think that the crab is like really soft because it's, they have that hard outer shell. No. You don't want to mess with the crab, because they've got a backbone, literally a hard shell. So I just want to point that out there. There's all this like fluff astrology out there. And so anyway, so with Mars in Aries and Venus in Taurus, what do you need to know, my little Cancers? Oh, Aries is in your 10th house, so that's where you're feeling a lot of the intense energy. And then we also have Taurus in your 11th house, which is all about community, social media, online engagements, things like that. We have the 10 of Wands. So there is letting go of burdens, especially with all this Aries energy moving, and focusing in more on really encompassing that beauty of all these lessons that you've just learned and you've just gone through, and moving forward into the next cycle, right? Especially with Uranus going into Gemini, that's going to be perfect energy for you to move things forward. And let's see, I have 2 tarot decks here and 2 oracle cards, so let's see what else is going on. Okay, so I have the Queen of Wands. So this is more like tuning into the water energy. This is very much Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces energy, and sitting on your throne, putting your crown back on, and really owning what you have, because I know it's been really tough through this with your career, but in your relationships, you're being asked to step back into more of that feminine energy and in the receiving mode, and making sure that you're not putting too much of that Aries energy into your career, where you're not paying attention into your relationships. Yay. All right. So now we have trim the sails. So trimming the sails is literally, so you could be going full force with this Aries energy. Trimming the sails is like, now you want to be precise on your destination and the rum line of where you're going. Like in sailing, the rum line is from point A to point B, but not everyone. If you were a sailor, you have to tack back and forth to get to your destination. So you've got to take a side quest, and then you have tack back this way and follow the wind. So this is like making sure that you are being serious. You're being asked with Saturn and Aries to also button up a little bit when it comes to this. And in your relationships, maybe taking a little bit more of a serious direction and saying, okay, this is what I want. This is what the structure, this is how things are going to like start to unfold. I mean, not in that way, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's what's coming in for your relationships. And then the Island Spice. Celeste, you know I like to spank the Island Spice deck. Okay, so I pulled the card, It's Divine to Dine in the Candlelight. So there you have it. So this is stepping back into that feminine energy and that romance and passion and embracing that. So it's all about balance in your relationships and things are going to be great. Also, right behind it, it does say a secret ingredient is needed. So you need to be original. So if there's one thing and a little element you feel it's missing, tune into what kind of creature comfort or I don't know, I'm getting like food or something that's going to just round it out. It could be, I don't know, chocolate covered strawberries or your favorite lemon cake or something like that to share with your lover. All right, let's see. All right, next we're going to move on to Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. How are my little bowls? Not balls, bowls, just so you know what's going on. Let's see, Taurus, what does the energy have for you this week? Okay. All right, so I have the Star card, which is very much Aquarius energy. And this is a really beautiful card, actually. And this is all about being lucky in love and having that balance, like understanding that balance of how things are moving forward. And see how she's very luxurious and passionate, and he's sitting there in his divine masculine receiving the divine feminine and her beautiful energy, and he's not in that, like, he's in the receiving mode. So see how it's like the yin and yang, because the yin and yang, you still have that masculine and feminine energy within you, and you want to make sure you're balancing it. So let's see what's next. I do see that being guarded by the fires around you. So being careful of the negative energy and that intense masculine fire energy. If you look at this card, there's fires going on in the background. He's sitting there resting, protected by the Four of Swords, meaning to sit there and rest and be in that receiving mode and not out there. So I'm feeling that for Taurus, especially since Venus is one of your, like, is ruled by Taurus or vice versa, that you need to embrace more of that energy and kind of dial back the Aries and Mars energy a little bit. Let's see. All right, we have gale force wind. So yes, this is interesting because, like, with this card, gale force wind are winds up to 35 mile an hour when you're out there sailing. So they're very forceful, could knock you off your kilter a little bit. So this is why you're being asked to go and rest. Especially, I feel like the gale force wind is going to be Uranus entering Gemini on the 26th of April. It's going to be full force and full throttle for everybody ahead. So when this comes to your relationships, making sure that you are battening down the hatches and providing a safe, sacred space for the two of you to come back to after a crazy week of energy. Okay, and then I have in the Island Spice deck, hear the lulling rhythm of the ocean song. So this is getting back into nature. Again, this is very watery energy. This is very feminine energy, Mother Ocean, grounding with that Taurian energy. And, go getting your toes sandy if you can. And if you can't, just go outside and take your shoes off. But maybe listen to some meditations with your loved one at night with ocean sounds that could really amp up things and passion in the bedroom. So that's what I have for Taurus. Okay, moving on. All right, Leo, sun, moon, or rising. What is going on, my fellow Leos? Leo rising in the house. What's up? I'm loving all this energy in my 9th house of Aries. Woohoo! travel, teaching, learning, my YouTube channel, astrology, everything. All right, let's see. Leos, what's going on? Okay, Leo. Oh, I have the Magician. So this is being an alchemist, right? This is very Aries energy. So in your relationship, you have the alchemy to take the 4 elements: the fire, the earth, the air, and the water, all together, mix it up and create alchemy. Last Thursday on Spiritual Happy Hour, I talked a lot about alchemizing this fiery energy into moving things forward. And so I feel like you are going to take more of this energy, alchemize it to move things forward in your relationship, to benefit and move things forward. Now, of course, if you're single, this is taking action to put yourself out there and really, really just making sure that you are taking action and you're not sitting at home expecting Prince Charming to come knocking at the door. Then I pulled the Ace of Pentacles. So this is about a new offer coming in, a solid offer. So this could be an offer in love or in your current relationships. This could be like solidifying the foundation to move things forward, to really plant that seed and watch it grow into something. All right. Let's see. Smooth sailing. Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Smooth sailing is literally when the water is flat perfectly and there are no obstacles and everything's going in your favor as long as you stay balanced, right? You don't go off course completely. So I feel that your relationship is really, in your relationships and romantic specifically, are really going to benefit you. And especially with this going into your 10th house with Taurus and Venus in your 10th house right now of career, long-term career, reputation. This could be meeting somebody in that arena who shares the same likes of you when it comes to more of a business, since it was the Ace of Pentacles, which is also money and finance. But I do feel that that when you're out there doing your passion, that's when you're going to really amplify and alchemize your relationships, because you're focusing on your true passion and you're doing what shines your light, and that is going to attract and or even solidify things in your current relationships. All right, Island Spice, what's going on? All right, under the stars, I think of you. Oh, I love this. This is awesome because this is all about romance. This is all about moving things forward and being dreamy in more of that air or that Venus energy, right? Doing romantic things together to strengthen that bond and balance out that energy of, moving things forward, but then also taking time to take a breath together and just really feel that passion and that fire igniting between you two, and everything just alchemizing between you and your relationship. So Leos, I hope that resonates for you. Drop a comment below. If you're watching this after the fact, chime in and say hello and let me know how that reading went for you. All right. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so we're moving on to Virgo. Virgo, sun, moon, or rising. Oh, I was hoping my favorite Virgo was coming on the live this week, but that's okay. I'll send her the video after. She'll make it one of these times. She's probably like counting money or something right now, because those Virgos are very precise. Okay, so all right, Virgos, let's see what's going on for you. All right, we have the wheel is coming out again, the Wheel of Fortune. So you are also having things balance out in your relationships and in your love life, where it was really intense last week. Now this week it's going to start to, we're not totally out of the woods yet, but you're going to start feeling a little bit more alleviating of that intense Mars energy and more into that Taurian Venus energy. This is happening Venus or Aries is in your 8th house. And so that is, partnerships, other people's money, investments, things like that, inheritance, dreamland. And then you have, and then Aries in your 9th house. Or actually, that's opposite. Aries in the 8th house, Taurus is in the 9th house. So, like taking a vacation, I'm feeling like you should be taking a vacation together, planning something romantic. I do have the 9 of Pentacles coming out for you. And so this is literally taking that energy that you have and planning something together to alchemize more of that romance in your relationship and balance out that yin and yang. I do have Riptide. So the Riptide, yes, I feel like you just came through the Riptide, and that's why the Wheel of Fortune card came out, because it's saying that, when the Wheel of Fortune's turning, it's like either you're high or you're low, but then you're also in between, right? So it's like, where are you in the wheel? So I feel like you're just coming up from the very bottom of things, and now you're going to start coming back up into feeling more adventurous, more wanting to do more exploration, plan some travel, maybe get a little bit more on that metaphysical side. I mean, you are watching this video right now, so that could be a good sign for you. And helping your relationships by tuning into your intuition is what I'm hearing. And also, honest, just get outside and play. All right, Island Spice for you. Let's see. Okay, so I'm enamored with you. So yes, so whoever you're involved with, this is definitely moving on the right path where you're feeling that love and that or strengthening that. If you're married, whatever, obviously it's not a new relationship. You're still always like evolving, right? In any relationship, it's the wheel. It's your high or low. It's how you're dealing with it as you go through the process. And so this is saying, there's still a spark of amazing thoughts and what this person feels about you or what you feel about this person. And I feel like it's very reciprocal. I do see behind it, sharing secrets under the waterfall. So this is indicating, yes, I just say go out and travel something. So maybe plan something where you're going to Hawaii or Costa Rica, or Niagara Falls, something that has water flowing. I feel like that energy with that Taurian energy is really going to amplify things for you and manifest your relationship and moving things forward. So let me know how that resonates, Virgo. Woohoo! Oh, okay. Let's see who's next in the Freestyle Love Supreme Cup. This cup I've had since 2020 or 2019. And that's where I pull all of my astrology people out of, the signs. So next sign is Gemini. Gemini, sun, moon, or rising. What is going on, Gemini? Okay. Are you getting ready for Uranus to come into your sign, Gemini, in your first house? Woo, that's going to be intense. We'll talk about it on Spiritual Happy Hour on Thursday when I go live. But tonight we're focusing on love and passion. Okay, Gemini. Woo! Without hesitation. The 5 of Pentacles came out. So this is indicating, this is not the traditional tarot. This is in the sexual tarot. This is indicating like a changing of the tides. Like you've crossed the boundary of, in the tarot, you have 1 through 10 before you go to the suits. And this is 5. So you're literally halfway there. Like you've been building. And now when you hit the 6 of Pentacles, which is the next card in this deck, you're going to start seeing the fruits of your labor. So I feel like this could be something where it's been a little bit like janky going road lately, but now it's going to start smoothing out and blending things. So with the Mars and Venus energy, make sure that you are softening the edges when you need to, so you're not so like moving forward so fast trying to get through those speed bumps. Like, oh, this is intense. Just like, okay, maybe we just go over this speed bump slower this time, right? And work it that way. All right. And I'm also getting the 4 of Wands. So this is the soulmate card, the 1111 in the traditional tarot, also in this deck. This is the vice versa tarot. And this is literally, harmony and love and coming together and moving forward. So see how, they're moving on this beautiful path together. And so maybe there was some bumps in the road in your relationship this past week, but this week things are going to start moving forward, especially if you both are tuning into the receiving and giving mode of the masculine and feminine energies. Okay, let's see what the OG deck has to say about that one for you. Hang 10. I love it. Literally, when you're surfing, you're hanging 10 of your toes on the front of the board. Total bliss. Go and have some fun. Let your hair down together. Have some fun this week and really amplify that energy of harmony and love and passion. Oh, Gemini, I'm excited for you. You'll have to let me know how that resonates. Liz pulled another card for you in the Island Spice deck. Let's get it going. What does the Spice card deck have to say for you? By the way, this is one of the decks that I made. Perfect. Make a luscious meal together. So yes, pampering each other, cooking together, bonding, have a glass of wine and chat and really bond and get to know each other on a deeper level. Even if you are in a 15-year-old marriage or 20-year-old marriage, there's still things to talk about, to reminisce about, right? And if you're single, this is coming in for you. If you want this, you can have it. You can manifest it. And you just need to make sure you're putting yourself in the right place at the right time. And also trusting divine order will put you in that attraction state to get your divine counterpart coming in, okay? Now, of course, I can't guarantee if you're single, you're gonna meet somebody this week, but chiming into those energies is going to help you, all right? Leave a comment below and let me know how that reading helps you this week. Okay, let's see. Moving on to Libra. Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is going on, Libra? Libras literally are the opposite side of the zodiac from Aries. So you have Libras, which are very diplomatic, and then you have Aries that are all about the beginning of spring, the self, and moving things forward. Really good at starting projects, but not finishing them. And so with all of that in the opposite sign, I'd love to hear from you, Libras, to see how this energy is impacting you with all the planets literally out of sync on the other side of the zodiac, Okay. For Libra love this week, let's see what's going on. Okay, so I pulled the King of Pentacles. So this is great, honestly. This is being in a place where, I have to cover that up. This is being in a place where you could be with somebody with that Taurian energy, because this is an earth sign, and earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But since we're talking about Venus, there could be a lot of that Venusian energy surrounding your relationships this week and really encompassing them, making them feel safe, emotionally safe, right? Even though this card is traditionally monetary and finance, but since this is a love reading, I'm saying emotionally safe, because what do you need for a strong relationship? Emotional safety, okay? Let's see. Oh, yes, I have the Fool card. So let go and let God. Let things move forward for you and trust. Take a leap of faith. Whatever this is, Libra, in the next step of your relationship or meeting somebody, or literally, don't get too much in your head trying to balance things out and figure out. Just take a leap of faith. Take that. This is where you want to take that Mars and Aries energy and go. You want to go forward and literally just put the pedal to the metal, okay? And do not hesitate. You have to move forward, okay? That is a really strong message that I got for you. Let's see what else we have for you, Libra. Okay, safe harbor. So yes, you could be playing it safe a little too much, trying to overanalyze and overbalance things. A safe harbor is literally when you feel like you're in a storm, you need to find a safe harbor for your boat or your vessel, wherever you are. And so you go into the nearest thing for safety. But I feel like you can do that, but you do not stay there too long. You have to move on. Otherwise, you're going to get charged more dockage fees and things like that. So literally, Libras, you have to take the leap of faith and just trust and let go, let God. Let's see what the spicy deck has to say for you. Boop-a-doo. This would be like, like nutmeg smack or whatever. I don't know, cinnamon, cayenne. Okay. Have fun, but use discernment. Okay, so this is very Libra energy, right? Having fun, but also using discernment. So with that being said, with the safety harbor card or safe harbor, this is also indicating that do take a little bit, like, okay, don't go full on Aries off the cliff. Okay. Don't go full on Aries off the cliff. Make sure that you are using discernment. Make sure you have a parachute or a soft landing. Okay. Don't like do anything too crazy this week. Okay. But that's what's coming in for your love life, Libras, sun, moon, or rising. All right. Let's see who's next. Pisces. All right, Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. How are my little Pisces doing? I always say it about every sign. My little Pisces, my Libras, my Virgos, whatever. Okay, let's see what's going in with your love life, Pisces, this week. You have Aries in your second house, which is finances and how you make money. So you could be focused a lot on your finances, but the third house is where Taurus is, which is where Venus is. So you're being asked to get out into your community a little bit, step outside, even if it's just your neighborhood, talk to your neighbors, go to a neighborhood bar, something like that, because that's going to amplify your relationships, just letting your hair down and doing something fun locally. I do have the Seven of Pentacles. So this is putting the work into the relationship, okay? And moving things forward, but slow and steady wins the race, right? You want to make sure that you aren't focusing too much on the out of balance of relationship versus work. But I feel like with work, you've been focusing so much on your finances. It's time for you to focus a little bit and balance out those scales into that Venus love energy. Go pamper yourself. Do something with together, go get a pedicure together, or do something that even just like a walk on the beach, something together is very well needed for you. Okay, so I do have the Eight of Cups card is popping out for you. So I do think, Pisces, if something isn't fulfilling you, you may feel like it's out of balance and you may want to walk away. But do know, look at all these cups, even though these ones down here are a little banged up a little bit, you still have these ones up here that are full. Okay, so not giving up on your relationship or the passion you have in your life. See the sun and the moon, or the sun, it's the sun and the moon in the sun, the yin and yang. You have the Aries energy and the Venus energy, balancing out those and not throwing in the towel, right? So that's interesting. Let's see what the ocean or the Beach Balance Life Ocean Goddess deck has to say for you. Safe harbor. So yes, you may be wanting to run to a safe harbor, or maybe run to a safe harbor together because there's been a lot of chaos. Time for you to take some time out, spend together, reamp and reignite things in your relationship in the romantic department. Especially since, you have the Seven of Pentacles of slow and steady, you might need to amp it up a little bit. Let's see what the Island Spice has to say for you. Okay. Ooh, okay, Pisces. I cherish every moment with you. So this is about being in the moment, balancing that yin and yang energy that we've talked about within yourself, but also with your partner, and cherishing every little thing. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be full throttle. That's why I think having a safe harbor to go to, a cocoon, if you will, with each other, to cherish those small moments rather than going out into the world. I feel like you need to bring it home and pamper with that, that Venus energy, and spending time together, and just, even if it's just like taking a shower, taking a bath, candlelit bath, anything like that. I think that's really going to benefit you and your relationship this week. All right. Let me know how that resonates. Okay. Let's see who's next. All right. So Capricorn, Cappies, Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising. What is going on? Okay. Let's see what's going on for you. You have Aries in your 4th house of home, so things could be very chaotic at home, but then like you have Taurus in your 5th house of creativity and romance. And so I feel like you need to dial in a little bit on that romantic energy this week in your relationship. I am getting the Empress card. Ooh, this is nice. I love this energy. So the Empress card is indicating having patience and sitting in that Empress energy. And Empress is literally, I don't want to say above a queen, but she's the pinnacle besides the High Priestess. You know, you have like different echelons, whatever, but it is up there in that realm of owning who you are and what is going on in your relationship and taking that feminine energy. I do also, the Empress card is also, you know, indication of possible pregnancies, something like that. So just be careful what you're doing. If that's not what you're looking for, if you are looking for it, I don't know. I don't predict pregnancies, but that just came to my frontal lobe. All right, let's see what else we have. Oh my gosh. So I have this star card for you. And this is great. This is literally the luckiest card in the deck. So by focusing on these aspects of your relationship is really going to amplify and give you that energy of, wow, this is like, you know, seeing stars. And also I'm seeing right here, you are the only star in the sky in this person's life and vice versa. And, you know, and pouring your, you know, the water, being around water. If you can, there's a full moon coming up in a couple weeks. If you can go out to a field or a lake or an ocean or something like that together, that would be very, very beneficial. Let's see what the Beach Balance Life cards say about that for you. Okay. So drift. Yes, drifting, going with the flow. Okay. Going with the current. Don't try to swim upstream. Don't be very Aries this week. Use that beautiful feminine water energy to flow in your relationships this week. Let things unfold as they need to, and don't try to control the situations this week, and don't try to put too much structure in, you know, with all of that, or that Saturn energy that you have in your natal. So yes, let's see what the Island Spice deck has to say for you. All right. We have Fall Asleep with the Sound of the Ocean. I love this. Open the windows and feel how the ocean air encompasses your beautiful relationship. A little bit of that saltiness in the air, that sun-kissed feeling, the saltiness on your skin, and just vibing with Mother Nature and Mother Ocean, encompassing your relationships and your romance this week and really blessing it. Okay, that's awesome. I love that for you. Okay, let's see. Last but not least, Aries. What's going on, my fellow Aries? Oh, has it been intense for all of us? I mean, it's been intense for everybody. Let's just face it. But honestly, wow. Okay. But you know what? The thing about Aries with all these, when we had all those 7 celestials in our house last week and things are now moving on into Taurus, and now we're in Taurus season, so it's no longer Aries season, that we know how to alchemize that energy because we live in it. We know it. If you have a lot of planets in Aries or your Aries sun, moon, or rising, you know how to alchemize that. So you're used to it. It's the other signs. There's other signs that probably had a little bit harder time dealing with that intensity. Okay, so I have the 9 of Cups. Ooh. Let's see. All right, Aries, what is going on? Sensual City is coming in for you this week. This is awesome. I love this for you and for me. And this is indicating that since we've been in that intense, like Aries, Mars and Aries energy, now it's time to step into that feminine balance of luxury and passion and sexuality, and just really vibing with that beauty of your relationship, and encompassing it in hugs and kisses, and really just showering it with love and light and lots of romance. All right, I do see it's, oh my gosh, the Nine of Cups in this deck pulled out too. That's insane. That's in two different decks. It's literally saying your wish is coming true, whatever it is in romance. This is awesome. Woo, Aries. Ooh, I can't wait to see what it is. It's gonna be good, whatever it is. Ooh, that's awesome. Wow, double whammy. 999 could be significant. 909 could be significant. Let's see what else we have. Okay. Yes, duck dive. So yeah, make sure that when you're on a surfboard, you want to duck under the waves. You don't want to go into the waves when you're out there paddling out to the lineup. So making sure that you are duck diving under waves that could impact your relationships this week. Things that could ruffle feathers. You know, outside influences are very big at doing this. So you want to protect your divine union and keep it whole with the balance of the yin and yang. All right, let's see, Aries. Get some island spice on you. And with all that wishes coming true and all of that beautiful, hot, sexy passion, also intimacy is just as wonderful as holding hands. So the little moments as well also count for that for you, Aries, this week. So make sure you're stepping more into the Venus energy to keep the balance. All right. So I will do, I don't think we're going to do any readings tonight. Mystical Musings, are you still out here? If so, I'll pull a card for you. I think you might have hopped off because I know it's early out there in Arizona. Let me know. And then if not, I'm gonna do a final card pull from the Island Spice deck for everybody in the collective. Okay, the final is, okay. Ooh, interesting. I love this. Okay, so I pulled 3 cards from the Island Spice deck. It says, only bring the essentials, leave the past in the past. Okay, everybody in the collective right now needs to let the baggage go. Anything that's holding you down emotionally, mentally, spiritually needs to be let go of in order to move things forward in your romantic life this week. Because if you are focusing on things in the past and things that, you know, that have happened to you and you're letting it impact you, or on a subconscious level, maybe I'm hearing, you know, some people out there in the collective need to look at what they're feeding into their subconscious mind and what are these tapes that they keep replaying for themselves that are not benefiting their current relationships, because we all tell stories to ourselves, which ones are really true and which ones can we let go of and recreate new stories. Okay. And I have Dance All Night and Get Your Groove On. So that's the next card. Loving that energy. So letting your hair down, having some fun. I always think about when I made this card, I thought about when I was in the British Virgin Islands, and I was staying on a sailboat, and we went dinghy into shore, and there was a reggae band playing and steel drums, and everyone just dancing on the beach, and they're having a barbecue, and there's a bonfire, and it was just so chill. And then the stars, and then the smoke from the bonfire going up in the stars. It's like a picture in my mind. So get your groove on and let your hair down. And then know that also under the stars, I think of you. So no matter what's going on in your romantic life, the person that you're with, the romance, it's still there. They still think of you. Even when you're not around them, they're still thinking about you, and vice versa. So I think this is really beautiful energy with the Island Spice deck. And I love that. I will pull one more card as an overall message to amplify that. Yes, smooth sailing is coming out for the collective relationships. If you let your hair down, have some fun, okay? But the key thing is to put the past in the past, okay? That's what's going to move things forward in your relationships this week with all the energy in Venus and Taurus and Mars in Aries. So that is the final reading. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining. Come visit me on Thursday for spiritual happy hour, and make sure you share this video with your friends. Would love to build this community. It's so fun. I love doing these shows. I love being creative and having fun. And it's always fun to have people come along in the chat and chime in and have fun. So that being said, hope everyone has a good night, and I'll catch you on Thursday on the next wave. Bye.